loving you, baby, and I think I'm right. I'm putting in the details. You already know how this goes. I apologize. And I've been seeing the comments. I've been seeing people comment on the fact that they are the after the fact watch party. That they are watching these videos when they are no longer streams. They're no longer watching the live stream. They are watching a video. It's just a good old-fashioned, classic, traditional video. Because if you're not here in real time during the stream, it's just a video. And people have been telling me that they're here for it. And I appreciate that because we need those after-the-fact viewers. They're very important. And I appreciate you, and I don't want to disrespect you. I don't want to disrespect you by giving you a bunch of fluff at the beginning of the video like this. But if you are a frequenter of these videos, you already know that this is how every video starts, because I use a streaming platform that forces me to go live before I'm actually prepared to go live. It's ridiculous, I know. And believe me, I hate it more than you do. Because you could simply skip this. I'm the idiot that has to sit through it in real time, in real life. So, I'm embarrassed right now. But I am doing my best to keep my composure. I have every intention of tagging this and putting a timestamp after the fact, letting you know to ignore this, to scroll past it, to move on, so that you don't have to be subject to this. I'm going to do my best. Sometimes I forget. But I have, you know what matters in life, and I say it all the time, I tell Marilena all the time, what matters the most is intentions, right? As long as you have the right intentions, even if you fail miserably and don't do what you're supposed to do, it's the intentions, right? That's what matters. I hate this song so much. You know that song that goes, I need a dollar. I hate that song. It just sounds like it sounds like it was made to play in a store. It just sounds so corny. It sounds like it was made by AI. What do they call it? Coworker music? It's NPC music. Here we go. Don't you know that is true, that for me and for you, the world is a ghetto. The world is a ghetto. Caimon has returned. He has returned to reclaim the throne. Hey, you know what? Ironically, every time Caimon hasn't been here first, hey, let's wait for Jane Caulfield. I'm gonna wait. Jane Caulfield just said, hey, I'm watching the ad. Don't be funny yet. I'm gonna wait. We're waiting for Jane Caulfield. Everyone be patient. Don't be funny yet. Hold on to your jokes. Chill out. Jane Caulfield is a pillar of the community. Never disrespect. Hold your thoughts. Hold your jokes. We're waiting. Jane Caulfield, let us know when you're ready to go. And for you, the world is a ghetto. Don't you know? We're waiting. Patiently waiting. I want to thank those of you who joined me last night for Late Night with the Grandmaster. It's now on the members only tab. It's hidden. I revealed some things during that stream that I probably shouldn't have. I also want to mention that we either have a snitch in the chat or Marilena's been lurking in some of my streams because she regurgitated some stuff to me yesterday and that she was not pleased with. So I think we have a spy in the camp. We're patiently waiting for Jane Caulfield. Oh, Jane Caulfield is here. So what I was saying is, it's ironic because Caimon has returned to reclaim the throne. He is the official first. The alpha. First in the gym. Now he's not always necessarily last in the gym because I know I'm doing Kaimon dirty a fair amount of the time because I stream too late and I know he's got a life and he's got a job and stuff like that. But the ironic thing is Kaimon returned to reclaim the throne, and what's ironic is that when he hasn't been here, he has still been on the throne. He came here today to reclaim the throne, but when he's not here in first place, it's because he was on the throne. Every time that Kaimon hasn't showed up here on time, it's because he was in the bathroom. And I respect that. I respect good, healthy, consistent movements. I respect that. What's up, Tarzan? What's up, Paul Bearer, Danny Gonzalez, Waffle Bar, UFC? Oh, I see. Yeah. True Sigma. Hey, a True Sigma? A True Sigma? I'm just saying, a True Sigma wouldn't say that he's Sigma. That's not a Sigma move, all right? I'm telling you, that's more of an alpha move. And everybody knows that alphas are just really annoying people that wishes they were Sigmas. I'm just saying. And I want you to forget the fact, Kaimon, that I just called you an alpha, and now I'm criticizing alphas. Because I didn't mean it in that way. I didn't mean it in the college way that people talk about alphas and stuff like that. I meant as an alpha and omega. That's what I was talking about, because you're the first all the time, you know? Light source. The UFC ain't quite dead right now, but it has been given a very unfortunate diagnosis. What's up, Adam? Ron, look, Jorge Tirado, Jonah McKay, R.I.P. House of Ill Repute. Dong. Dong. Oh, I'm sorry. It was a long ad. Hey, I appreciate you hanging around for it. I appreciate it. You need to secure a Paramount deal ASAP. Look. So, some really funky stuff going on here. I'm just going to keep it at this. I think that the Paramount might potentially be one of the worst things that ever happened to the UFC. However, I have some friends. I have friends that are friends with people in Paramount. People who are familiar with the channel. People who like the channel. People who have gotten a cameo from the channel. I don't want to disclose too much, but I have. Yeah. So I'll say this. Even though I think it's potentially one of the worst things that ever happened for the UFC, I think we might get the MMA, the Mexican martial arts series on Paramount. This might be the perfect avenue. This might be the perfect road to get the movie in, to get it on the platform, to start making that other Fight Pass type of content. They're going to need to pad it. Because what the UFC is doing, I'm going to get to my topic in a moment. I got to say my greetings real quick. What's up, Guru Sis? It's funny. A lot of the people that I'm seeing here right now were there last night for my evening stream and then my late night with the Grandmaster stream that didn't end until 1:20 in the morning. And they're here again. Do any of us ever sleep? I'm still going to stream it illegally. Early streams are great, but 3:30 a.m. is when it gets wild. Oh, yeah, it was 3:30 a.m. for Jane Caulfield. Okay, look. Listen. I think that this is one of the worst moves that the UFC could have possibly done. And the reason for that is that there's no more pros, as in pros and cons. There's no more pros for the fighters here. The only pro that they had was pay-per-view points. The only pro that they had was scalability. That was like the one thing that the fighters had. It's like when you work in commissions. I worked in the car sales industry. One of the most soul-sucking, disturbing industries that you could ever have anything to do with. It was terrible. I've worked another thing or two in the sales industry. And when you work in sales, it is terrible. People hate you. There's rejection. There's lying to your face. People back out. Constant disappointment. But you always have that wild card. The commission. The scalability. You probably won't, but you could make $15, $20, $30, $40, $70,000 a month. Hundreds of $1,000s a month with commission, scalability. That's what was just ripped away from fighters. And they banked on that. They depended on that. You would have fighters that were considered boring, lackluster. People weren't going to shell out money for them. People weren't even going to try that hard to find Reddit links. You get those fighters. People aren't even going to go out of their way to find the illegal stream. They're just going to pass altogether. And you had these fighters like, it's funny to say now, Henry Cejudo, Colby Covington, even Conor McGregor. Now, Conor McGregor knew to kind of do that from the start. Colby Covington, Henry Cejudo had these switches later on where they're like, oh, I think I got to do this. People like Conor McGregor, Charles Sonnen, they knew to do it from the get. Rampage Jackson. And when you turn into these larger than life characters and you're running your mouth, you're cutting promos, that's how you crack the code. That's how you scale. People either like really, really, really love you or they really want to see you lose and fail. Just like when people would buy all the Mayweather fights and you become this spectacle. And that was the key. Conor McGregor's net worth right now, it's about the same as an average, as like an average doing okay NBA player. And think about how larger than life and more popular than any other ever and how much money. Think about Conor's career. That's like the story. Never be another one. He made all the money there is to make in and out of the sport. His net worth is like, it's like right in the pocket of like famous NBA players. And they just show up and they just got a salary. He had to work it, milk it, grind, do this and that. You know how many assaults he had to accumulate? You know how many people that he had to attack? You know how many allegations had to float around for him to stay in the news? Any news is good news, right? You know how many crimes? You know how many misdemeanors? You know how many things he had to commit in order to get to that status? You sign an NBA contract, you could sit on the bench for 80-something games and make more than Conor McGregor. Plane trips all the time, going to all these different foreign lands, destinations, nice restaurants, nice hotels. You could sit on the bench your entire career and make more money than Conor McGregor. You're having to punch old men. You're having to punch ladies. People out there crashing cars, getting arrested, drunk outbursts, clips on YouTube. They have to do these things to make people be so utterly curious about these people. What will they do next? I want to watch this dude. I want to see this fight. Everyone's going to be talking about it tomorrow. Everyone's going to be making videos about it. I need to know what's going on. I'm a FOMO sapien. I was born this way. We're FOMO sapiens. It's in our DNA. You're going to watch it because you want to be at that water cooler tomorrow talking, oh, yeah, I saw that too. Did you see what he did? Or you want to talk about him losing. You want to be able to watch him lose and bask in that. You want to live vivaciously through that defeat. That's being ripped away from the fighters right now. There is no more scalability. If a fighter gets his salary, which ain't going to be anywhere near an NBA player salary, NFL player salary, because you know how the UFC does business? The only thing fighters had was the scalability, that commission, if you will, those pay-per-view points. And the UFC knew that, and they're saying, chale, our pay-per-view numbers have been declining. However, Paramount sees these pros in what we have to offer. So we're going to go to Paramount because that'll be good for Paramount and it'll be good for the UFC. But the middleman, it'll even be good for the consumers, for the viewers, for the fans, but not for the fighters. They're getting capped out now. The fighters are now officially, once this kicks in and takes place in 2026, they're on a fixed income. They're on a fixed income, and it ain't an NBA type of fixed income. It's over for them. These fighters, as it was already, getting their pay-per-view points, are always having to moonlight. We see fighters constantly having to get second jobs. We see real estate agents out there. We see Jeff Neal was working at Applebee's. There's photos of it if you think I'm playing. Who was it? Who's the dude that kind of looks like he could be Magnum PI's relative? The tall dude. What's his name? You guys know who I'm talking about. He kind of looks like the old school Magnum PI with his mustache and that dude was like working as like a teacher in a school. You got people being photographers for NFL teams now. We already have fighters constantly having to moonlight. They're already having to do this with pay-per-view points. Now they're on a fixed income. Then we got Charles Sonnen and his wife. They were on a podcast right now. I just saw a clip of it. And they were talking about their son getting into fighting and how fighting's not a real job and how you got to have 2 or 3 jobs just to make it make sense. And hey, let's get real. Fighting's a sport. If you go train for this many hours, that's not a job. That's just a sport. You need to get 2 or 3 jobs if you want to be a fighter. You need to have backups on backups on backups. This narrative ain't helping. Charles Sonnen and family, Charles Sonnen and company are doing what they can to put the final nail in the coffin. And you know why? Because Charles Sonnen is acting out right now. I just saw a clip of Charles Sonnen and DC talking about how they're upset. To them, it's bad news as well. They're laughing and kind of joking about, you know, kind of bittersweet how they lost the job. How they only got about 5 months left to do good guy, bad guy. They're out of work. And Charles sees where this is going as well. Does nobody know the name of the dude that I was thinking about? Nobody has said the name of the dude I'm thinking about. You guys, the dude that looks like Magnum PI. He's a tall dude. He's a white dude, as far as I'm aware. He's not black. He's not Chinese. He's not Mexican. He's a taller dude. He just fought somebody. Who did he fight? There's only one dude that fits that description in the UFC. I can't get any help right here. I can't get no respect. I think it starts with the A. His first or last name starts with the A. I'm not sure. How could nobody know what I'm talking about right now? Don Fry, Rich Franklin. No, he's a current fighter. Oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my mind right now. I'm going to have to take a little detour because it's going to drive me crazy. This is annoying. No. I'm not seeing the name right now. No, he's a current fighter. Kamaru Usman. Hey, Jordan, you still can't sleep? This is annoying. What if this fool's not even ranked? I'm never going to find him. Keith Hackney? Bro, deep cut. Did I just make up? Is this like the Mandela effect? Did I just make up someone that doesn't exist? Because now I can't find him. I think this is the Mandela effect. He's a current fighter. Current. He's currently fighting. I think this is the Mandela effect. Paul Craig. Only Michael Fury could possibly come through on this one. Although I love the answer, Kayla Harrison. Only Michael Fury. Thank you. Michael Fury's been across the room hearing this, and he knew the answer the whole time. He's trying to make his way to the phone. I appreciate it, Michael Fury. Unbelievable. Coming in clutch. Paul Craig is not white. He's Scottish. That's racist. That's racist. Okay, look. I kind of forgot what I was saying and what my point was and why I even brought that dude up. But here's what's important right now. Wait, I forgot that I had this open. Oh, snap. Okay, here we go. Hey, you don't think he looks like Magnum P.I.? Are you playing with me? Let me see. Paul Craig. By the way, I said he looks like he could be Magnum P.I.'s relative, I think. And then I think when I got frustrated, then I started just saying Magnum P.I. Are you playing with me? He could definitely be his brother. Cousin at worst. Tell me you don't see it. For the fans, they're thinking that this is a good move. Because you're going from having to pay what? 11, 12 bucks a month for ESPN Plus. And then on top of that, having to pay the pay-per-view, which is like 80 bucks. Now, if you're a good, contributing, honest, member of society that's paying for the pay-per-view and that's supporting your favorite fighters and you're not freeloading off their entire careers, then that's good for the fans because now you're saving potentially 160 bucks a month. Sometimes there's a couple 160 bucks on top of another. It's like 180, 200 bucks a month. You're saving a lot of money if you're actually paying for the pay-per-views. That's fantastic news for the viewers. And you could look at it as fantastic news for the sport as a whole because now they're going to be flat out putting it like on CBS. Like a lot of other professional sports, just right out there and to the mainstream. Now, if you weren't paying for it anyway, it doesn't really make a difference. And also, if you got the kind of individual that's not paying for the pay-per-view, it's probably going to be the same individual that's not paying for the Paramount. I don't think this drop in price that people are talking about, all these talking heads, I don't think it's going to be significant. There's a lot of people talking about it was $80 plus the ESPN Plus and that now it's only going to be $8.99 a month. No. That's not necessarily why people don't buy the pay-per-views. Now, of course, I want fantastic news for the fighters before they all start a podcast. Hey, I'm telling you, it's going to go in that direction. They're having to look for other means of making money. The same people that are refusing to pay for pay-per-views are the same people that are not going to pay for Paramount. It's not always about the dollar amount. It's the principle. People don't want to pay for stuff. If they could figure out how to get something without paying for it, they're going to do it. Somebody, now I know it's a little bit, now I'm going to be honest, I don't know the ins and outs of how much more difficult it is to get a free link of an event like on a Paramount as opposed to a pay-per-view link. I believe, from what I understand, it's far more complicated. However, that's not the way it works most of the time. You don't got millions of different people creating millions of different links and avenues to watch this thing. What you get is a couple masterminds. You get a couple hackers, you get a couple insiders, you get a couple people that actually work for the UFC or work for Paramount. There's some interns, they want to make some side money. They start this, they get their HTML going. You only need a handful of people that know how to run a event from Paramount and blast it out there for all the people that want to find it and not pay for it. What I'm saying is you're going to have the same community of people that didn't want to pay for the pay-per-view not paying for the Paramount. It's not going to change anything. I think they're thinking they're going to come over and they're going to bring all these subscriptions to Paramount and be like, look at our loyal audience. Look at our loyal fan base, Paramount. Shower us. Dana, you're the one that's always trying to sick the FBI on your own fan base because you know they're always stealing from you. You're the one out there saying, we got you, we got them, we're gonna do this and that, we're gonna make an example out of them. You threaten your own fan base because you know they're robbing you blind. And this is the same fan base that you're touting and promoting to Paramount, acting like they're all gonna come over and support financially. That's not gonna happen. Paramount's gonna get upset because instead of bringing them over and getting paid, they're gonna be like, hey, our analytics have shot up and how much we're getting ripped off now. Look at our Reddit numbers. Our Reddit numbers have gone through the roof, but no money's come from there. It's going to be good for the viewers because at the end of the day, the ones that were going to pay are going to pay significantly less, and the ones that weren't paying before aren't going to pay anyway. Fighters that were once motivated to do better, to cut promos, to be good on the mic, to be exciting, to get on social media, to start drama, to rouse beef, to jump the guard rails and get in the cage and face off when the dude barely won the strap and no one's going to be motivated anymore. There is now a cap. Your favorite fighters are now going to be on a fixed income. There's a ceiling. They could cut better promos. They could win more fights. It's not going to matter. Do NBA players, they're going to be like NBA players. If NBA players win certain games, do they get paid more? Do they get extra commission? No, they have to renegotiate in a few years. But it wasn't like fighting. You get your fight bonuses, win bonus, performance of the night, being a champion, pay-per-view. You don't have that anymore. Even the pathetic BMF, you get some kind of points here and there. It's not going to exist anymore. The fighters have always been caught between cheapskate fans that freeload off of them and don't pay for the pay-per-views and therefore financially support them, and between greedy, blood-sucking businessmen that carve out budgets to pay people like Nina Drama while their fighters have to pick up second jobs. These are the same people in charge. Now you're adding this Hollywood conglomerate to it. You thought it couldn't get worse? At least with UFC and ESPN, it was like sports people. And of course, Disney was there hovering at all times. But now you're in there with Paramount? You're in that Hollywood circle now. The UFC as a whole now, every fighter, every fight, every event, the UFC and everything, every way that it moves, the way that the UFC moves from this point on, every single bit of it is now one long, ongoing, continuous humiliation ritual. That's all it is now. They've been sacrificed to Paramount, to the Hollywood machine. And we're going to lose fighters. You got world-class fighters that are already fighting for scraps with the potential. There was always the little light of hope to get pay-per-view points and get rich. And maybe if you work hard and beat yourself to death and grind like crazy every second, maybe you could even get close to making as much as an NFL or NBA player. Not anymore. That opportunity has been taken away. It doesn't exist anymore. And they think they're trying to make it better because they sacrificed. The timing all makes sense. They sacrificed Stephen Colbert. He was a casualty in all of this, and rightly so. They sacrificed Stephen Colbert and all of his staff to take that budget, and they're like, it's okay, we're going to pay the fighters with this. We're going to pay the fighters with this money. It was easy to sacrifice Stephen Colbert because he's basically been telling one joke for the last decade. Not that hard to part ways with him. But they sacrifice his entire show and staff to give that to the fighters. But it's not enough. Not for all those fighters. Not for all these events. Yes, it's still going to be 43 events. It's still going to be 30 fight nights and 13 pay-per-views. It's still going to be oversaturated. It's still going to be too many lackluster cards. All these prelim type of cards from beginning to end. One long prelim. And now it's going to be with more watered down fighters because you got these professional world-class athletes saying, if this is the way it's going to be, you got people in high school, people in college coming up that were thinking about going into MMA. And they're going to say, if this is how it's going to be, I'm going to go to the NFL. If I'm a world-class athlete, if I'm in shape, if I got that physicality, I'm going to go to the NBA. I'm going to be a baseball player. I ain't gonna get beat to death to make scraps. This is crazy. $7 billion something, 7 years. 7 years. 7 years, ironic. 7 years. 7, the number of completion. 7 years it's gonna take to complete the sacrifice of the UFC, the humiliation ritual to sacrifice it to the Hollywood elite. You know Hollywood hates MMA. They don't like these rough around the neck people that want to fight at the White House with Donald Trump. Yeah, that's right. You know that Hollywood ain't down with MMA. They want to sacrifice it. They want it to go away. The hardest that Hollywood elites want to get is that PFC, that pillow fighting championships. They don't want the UFC. 7 years, $7 billion, 7 years of completion, 7 years to complete the death of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Sacrifice on the altar of Paramount Studios. It's going to turn into one disgusting reality show. What's up, Zach? I was on the Emmanuel Yarbrough diet. Popped a button on my mariachi suit. Trumpet players injured. We should be ready for the movie. Orale. Hey, that's what you just described right now. Sounds like a scene. I think you just wrote a scene. Emmanuel Yarbrough. I love that dude. He's the dude that's as white as he is tall. That's right. He's the dude that when they measured his wingspan, that it was literally chicken wings that they measured it with. They just put a line of chicken wings. I remember. I made a video about that dude. I appreciate you. I'm telling you, you're writing your own scene. I appreciate you. Hey, ARJR721's not at work? Are you on break right now? Wait, where are we at? Family, 'cause I got all my homies with me. We are family. It's playing the song again. 'Cause I got all my homies with me. I'm so relieved that it's playing the song again. I was freaked out yesterday. We are family. 'Cause I got all my homies with me. I'm a little bit off. The karaoke track. ARJR721. Sneaking off during work. Knees dudes. 212. Enigmatic Crunch. Zach. Hey, there you go. Zach, Henry D, and Tannerski. Congratulations for having a YouTube membership. You now have full, unprecedented access to my membership perks tab. If you get in there, lots of behind the scenes music videos. It's the dark web of the Mexican martial arts. Believe me, it ain't content that's made for the gen pop, if you know what I'm saying. Don't forget to get in there. Have I seen? Am I to blame? ARJR is Mr. Beast in disguise. The money is there. Be a Kevin Holland. Shut up and fight and make your money. Joshua, the money's there right now. That's what's good for the fighters right now. Yes. Be an annoying idiot like Kevin Holland. Do what Kobe Covington did. Do what Henry Cejudo did. Do what Conor McGregor did. Do what Charles Sonnen did. Yes. Paramount is robbing that opportunity from them. Have I not made myself clear? There is going to be a cap. They're on a fixed income. There's no more pay-per-view. That's how they make their money. We all know the 20 to show, 20 to win, whatever it is. Whatever bonuses Dana throws in there is pathetic. By the time you pay your fight camp, by the time you pay your taxes and all that, you might as well be working at Costco. The thing that comes in and saves them, the thing that keeps every fighter going right now in the UFC is at least the potential, the hope. Maybe, possibly I could get there and get some pay-per-view points. Maybe if I get a title, I can make that. Not now. Hey, we made a deal with Paramount. No more pay-per-view. No more scaling. Here's what you get. Here's what you get. Here's what you get. They're going to have to negotiate and get salaries like other professional athletes do. But look at who we're talking about and the kind of deal that's already been made. It's already been set in stone. Just like that lawsuit that they just did. There's already an overall number. And now it just simply gets divvied up. That's all that's going to happen. We already see the number. It's 7 point something billion. The number is the number. And now it gets divvied up. But it's just like music producers. It's just like label execs. They get the money, and the musicians, the rappers, the singers, they're broke. They're still selling their souls. They're still having to do this and that, go on press things, go on tour, do all these appearances, and they're still broke. They're still living from whatever little crumbs that the label's going to give them. Just, hey, you want this life or not? You want to be famous or not? And they're owned. That's what it is now with Paramount. Hey, here's the number. It goes to the execs. It goes to the people at the top. Goes to Ari Emanuel. Goes to Dana White. Goes to everyone with the suits. Even Bruce Buffer's going to get a piece of that. As a technicality. He knows how to play the game. It's a loophole. But the fighters? Chale. You just tell them, dance for me, boy, dance. Like Conor McGregor. I'm your owner. Dance for me, boy. That's what it is now. Everyone's going to be on that 2015 Demetrius Johnson fight pay. Bro. Let me see some of this chat right here. Let me see some of this. Hey, thank you, ARJR721. You're unbelievable. 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 So we're complaining that there's no more pay-per-view, and fighters who are already the top paid in the sport don't have the potential to make even more through pay-per-view points. Why are we complaining about this? What? So we're complaining that there's no... First of all, the way you're framing this is already like... it's kind of like when you watch videos where people go onto like college campuses and the students, they get real loud and they start calling names and stuff, and it's like from you can't use words like complaining. Right off the bat, it's not, we're not having an intelligent conversation. When you use words like complaining, you're already trying to demean the point that the person that you're trying to have a conversation with is making. You should come into this 50-50 without trying to belittle, without trying to condescend. So we're complaining? No, we're making a point. We're observing something. We're laying out the facts of what's going on. There's no complaining here. When you come into a conversation framing it as a complaint, it already says what your intention is. You just want to be confrontational. You just want to be contrarian. You just want to be aggressive. You don't want to have a conversation. There's no complaining here. I'm making an observation that is bad for fighters. There's no more pay-per-view, and fighters who are already the top paid in the sport don't have... No, I don't know. How could you come to that conclusion? I'm talking about the poor individuals that are now never going to get that opportunity. The people that are always on the prelims that are fighting and fighting and trying to get there, maybe eventually they do. Charles Oliveira was that for a long time. People thought they wrote him off as a journeyman. They wrote him off as a jobber, as a gatekeeper, and then he went on his run and became legendary and a lot of people's favorite fighter now. You got to give people that opportunity to know. You got to give them something to fight for. It's kind of like I have worked jobs where I've gotten paid by the hour, and I've worked commission jobs. And not just, and I've worked two different kinds of commission jobs. I've worked where you get a flat rate and then you get commission on top of that. And I've worked other jobs where it's 100% commission and you don't get anything if you don't get your commission. So I've had those two types of commission and hourly. And I could tell you, and please don't fool yourselves, you know you work harder on a commission job. Because when it's an hourly job, you know what you're getting paid. You know you can rely on it. You're kind of a drone. You're stacking boxes. You're handing people their food. You're wiping tables. You're whatever the thing is, right? And I don't mean to demean anybody because I've had more hourly jobs than commission jobs, okay? I've had them too. And I know some of you out there got a strong work ethic and you're going to work 110% no matter what. Cool, good for you. But for the majority, if you just take like a prototype, you put them in a commission job or you put them in an hourly job, hey, no matter what, you're going to make 20 bucks an hour. Or hey, over here, you can make 25 grand an hour if you work a little harder. Oh, I think I'm going to work harder. You're taking all incentive away from these fighters who work their whole career to fight for pay-per-view points. Now they're getting capped. Now they're on a fixed income. You got them, Zach. You got all of them. You got all of them. Just be careful. People are crying about MMA fighters' pay when Conor McWader, that's the new one, was the top paid athlete not that long ago. He is an outlier. He is not normal. I was doing my due diligence for you guys before the stream because I like to come correct and get my facts in order. Conor McGregor's net worth is around what some of your favorite NBA players make. Around. But there's a lot of them that make way more. Now think of the kind of life that McGregor has led. The type of lifestyle. And the ways that he had to make that money. Brutally fighting people in a locked up cage. Training, weight cutting, starving yourself, having to be disciplined in certain areas. And again, as stupid as it might sound, Conor McGregor has ascended to the heights that he has and made the kind of money he has because, partly, not fully, partly because of the allegations, because of his legal troubles, because of the ways that he's assaulted people. It puts him in the news. No news. How does it say? No news. All news is good news. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All of these things have made him this polarizing figure where all eyes are on him, whether you want him to win or you want him to lose. He had that Mayweather effect. He learned how to carve that out for himself. Whereas an NBA player, there might be a 7th string NBA player. You never even heard his name. He's making millions and millions of dollars to sit on the bench for seasons upon seasons. And he's chilling. He's getting on the first class flights. He's going to new cities every night, having nice hotel meals in restaurants, staying in nice hotels, sightseeing, making millions and millions of dollars sitting on the bench. Conor McGregor is in a cage trying to murder someone with him trying to murder someone while someone's trying to murder him. Living this crazy lifestyle so that he could have all eyes on him. So that he could be more and more and more known and relevant. So he's had to do all that stuff to even get close to some mediocre NBA salaries. Nobody else in the UFC is making what Conor makes. So that's not normal. People crying about MMA fighters paying when Conor McGregor's the top. Yeah, just him. What about all the other fighters that want the opportunity to make more money? It's them. I'm not crying for, I'm not sad about Conor McGregor, even though I don't think it's right. Cause Joshua, if I understand what you're saying correctly at the core, it's that you hate capitalism. It's that you don't think someone that has done good for themselves and made a lot of money and learned how to milk the system, you don't think that they should be enabled to continue doing that. You think we should cap them. Wait a minute. Somebody learn how to get rich and famous and successful and create generational wealth? Wait a minute. They were the top paid athlete? No. I'm not going to have anybody crying for this. He already made too much money. He stops now. Bro. If somebody figures out how to make something work for them, we're just going to be a bunch of haters to try to stop them. Top doesn't need more. They make more. I don't understand why everyone keeps talking about, we got a bunch of communists in here. I don't understand. Where are you from? I don't understand why everyone is so hyper-focused on the top people. I'm not talking about the top people. I'm fighting for the little man. I'm fighting for the underdog. They need to have their potential to make more money. Well, obviously, that's a whole different conversation. They should also still be able to have their own sponsorships, which... Now, here is something, voice of reason, you've contributed something today, finally. Here is something that could be outstanding. If, this barely broke today, news barely came out. If we find out, hey, maybe they're capping them, they're on a fixed income, but you could have your sponsors back. Whoa, that could change everything. That could be cool. But voice of reason, hey, for being a voice of reason, not very reasonable today. You got to have a little bit more range. You're kind of like the voice of preference or voice of bias today. You have to give those people at the bottom the potential to be pay-per-view stars. Because you're saying the bottom needs more. That has nothing to do with pay-per-view. The bottom's not making pay-per-view. Well, duh, bro. But how are they ever going to get to pay-per-view with no pay-per-view? How are they going to get to pay-per-view when pay-per-view's gone? And then the narrative is beautiful. Ari Emanuel and that other dude, I forgot his name, is antiquated. It's obsolete. They keep saying it like fetch. They're trying to make it happen. They're trying to put it out into the communities, just pump out antiquated. It's old. Pay-per-view stupid. Why would we do that? It's like the dinosaurs. Why would we keep doing it? Oh, because that's the only thing that benefits and incentivizes the up-and-coming fighters? It doesn't incentivize and benefit you. Your guys' pay-per-views are going, and that's why you got to dip on that model as soon as possible and take as many dollars as you possibly can before more and more companies that don't have anything to do with pay-per-view realize how bad you've been doing. Paramount, Hulu, Netflix, these people don't know These people don't know nothing about pay-per-view. And you haven't been making it public either. And I'm not breaking this news. Everybody's been talking about it. The UFC always used to talk and brag about their pay-per-view numbers. We did this much. They don't talk about it anymore because they're embarrassed. And they've been on hush mode about it for a while now. And they're like, we better sell real quick before people start saying, hey, well, how much are they making? How much are they losing? How come they're not talking about it anymore? Hey, do you want to sell it? 7 billion, 7 billion, They're just going to take that first one. Then it's going to be 6 billion, 5 billion, 4 billion. They had to move quickly. I'm very, very, very frustrated right now because I have to leave. I have to be a family man right now and go to a thing right now. Do a little carpool. So I have to dip. I'm going to come back tonight, PST, Pacific Standard Time. Probably at about, I think someone wants to come look at the house today. We'll see. If nothing goes sideways, I'm going to be here like 6:30, 7 p.m. And I want to talk more about this. I want to talk about some other things too. But I'm going to be late, so I got to dip already. Grando HVS just gifted 5 Mexican martial arts memberships. Congratulations, the Knife Dude 96, Mad Max, Hobknocker, J.A. Blank, and Wi-Fi Hoarder. Congratulations. Please check out the membership perks tab up on my homepage so you can see all the behind the scenes access that the Gem Pop doesn't have access to. Family. Because I got all my homies with me. Thank you very much. I have to dip out right now. I'm frustrated because I got more that I want to say. And there's some individuals up here that clearly need some lacing up. I gotta let these dudes know what's going on. Stephen Hartley, you can get $20K in a year from working 2 days out of the year. If I'm understanding everything the Voice of Reason is saying correctly, he basically hates UFC fighters and already thinks that they're overpaid. I'm sorry if I'm misunderstanding you, Voice of Reason. It sounds like you're saying, oh, you only fight 2 times a year and get $20K? That's all you should get paid. I think that's what you're saying, which is horrendous. Again, I apologize profusely if I'm misunderstanding you. But these dudes give their lives for us. They dedicate their whole lives to weight cutting, having to eat discipline, live discipline, spend so many times away from their family, constant training, learning new skills, having people hate them, stalk them, send them death threats, boo them. Constant, just everything that comes along with giving your life up and giving yourself to the public and being that public figure, going in there, fighting, risking death, having procedures, operations, being hurt. These dudes deserve it. These dudes deserve it. I have to dip. I apologize. I'm just an hour shy and I'm embarrassed. I haven't even done a full hour. It's been hectic, and people going in and out of my pad, it has been really throwing off my schedule. I got a dip right now. I will be back. I hope that you guys are back. Again, it's probably going to be like 6 hours, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe like 4 or 5 hours from now, I'll be back. Grando HVS just gifted 5 Mexican martial arts memberships. Grando HVS. Grando has been very generous. Grando has been supporting financially and making sure that this thing keeps moving a lot lately, and I want to say thank you. He has been a big spender and helping me to do what I do. Thank you. Kyle Parks, Ronan J, Carlos Carlos Medrano, Santos Carrion, and Tom Clark. We are family. 'Cause I got all my homies with me. Thank you for being here. I'm going to come back about 6:37. And I don't mean 637. I mean like 6:30-7. Unless some people want to come scope the pad and I'm going to have to drive around in circles around the block until they're done. But I'm going to be back. And I hope to see you again. Because we got to talk some more about this. And I want Voice of Reason to go and think about what he said. And come back correct. I want him to go think about the claims that he's made. And come correct. And we're going to make up and we're going to be friends. Okay? Because that's what we do here. We form friendships. We don't form enemies. We're not here to hate and divide. We're here to equip. And teach and nurture. 6:37 on the dot. I should come back at 6:37. All right. Thank you for being here. I'm going to be back.